A man named Lazarus was sick. He lived in Bethany with his sisters, Mary and Martha. This is the Mary who later poured the expensive perfume on my feet and wiped them with her hair. Her brother Lazarus was very sick. So the two sisters sent a message to me telling me,
"Lord, your dear friend is very sick."
but when I heard about it, I said, Lazarus' sickness will not end in death. No, it happened for the glory of God, so that the Son of God will receive glory from this. So although I loved Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, I stayed where I was for the next 2 days. Finally, I said to my disciples, let's go back to Judea.
Rabbi, only a few days ago, the people in Judea were trying to stone you. Are you going there again?
There are 12 hours of daylight every day. During the day, people can walk safely. They can see because they have the light of this world. But at night, there is danger of stumbling because they have no light. Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but now I will go and wake him up.
Lord, if he is sleeping, he will soon get better.
They thought I meant Lazarus was simply sleeping, but I meant Lazarus had died. So I told them plainly, Lazarus is dead. And for your sakes, I'm glad I wasn't there, for now you will really believe. Come, let's go see him. Thomas, nicknamed the twin, said to his fellow disciples,
Let us all go too and die with Jesus.
When I arrived at Bethany, I was told that Lazarus had already been in his grave for 4 days. Bethany was only a few miles down the road from Jerusalem, and many people had come to console Martha and Mary in their loss. When Martha got word that I was coming, she went to meet me, but Mary stayed in the house.
Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now, I know that God will give you whatever you ask.
Martha, your brother will rise again.
Yes, he will rise when everyone else rises at the last day.
I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will live, even after dying. Everyone who lives in me and believes in me will never ever die. Do you believe this, Martha?
Yes, Lord, I have always believed you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one who has come into the world from God.
Martha returned to Mary and called her aside from the mourners.
The teacher is here and wants to see you.
So Mary immediately went to me. I had stayed outside the village at the place where Martha met me. When the people who were at the house consoling Mary saw her leave so hastily, they assumed she was going to Lazarus's grave to weep. So they followed her there. When Mary arrived and saw me, she fell at my feet.
Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died.
When I saw her weeping and saw the other people wailing with her, a deep anger welled up within me, and I was deeply troubled. Where have you put him?
Lord, come and see.
Then I wept. The people who were standing nearby said,
See how much he loved him.
but some said,
This man healed a blind man. Couldn't he have kept Lazarus from dying?
I was still angry as I arrived at the tomb, a cave with a stone rolled across its entrance. I told them, roll the stone aside.
Lord, he has been dead for 4 days. The smell will be terrible.
Didn't I tell you that you would see God's glory if you believe? So they rolled the stone aside. Then I looked up to heaven and said, Father, thank you for hearing me. You always hear me, but I say it out loud for the sake of all these people standing here, so that they will believe you sent me. Then I shouted, Lazarus, come out! And the dead man came out, his hands and feet bound in grave clothes, his face wrapped in a headcloth. I told them, unwrap him and let him go. Many of the people who were with Mary believed in me when they saw this happen, but some went to the Pharisees and told them what I had done. Then the leading priests and Pharisees called the high council together.
What are we going to do? This man certainly performs many miraculous signs. If we allow him to go on like this, soon everyone will believe in him. Then the Roman army will come and destroy both our temple and our nation.
You don't know what you're talking about. You don't realize that it's better for you that one man should die for the people than for the whole nation to be destroyed.
He did not say this on his own. As high priest at that time, he was led to prophesy that I would die for the entire nation. And not only for that nation, but to bring together and unite all the children of God scattered around the world. So from that time on, the Jewish leaders began to plot my death. As a result, I stopped my public ministry among the people and left Jerusalem. I went to a place near the wilderness, to the village of Ephraim, and stayed there with my disciples. It was now almost time for the Jewish Passover celebration, and many people from all over the country arrived in Jerusalem several days early so they could go through the purification ceremony before Passover began. They kept looking for me, and they stood around in the temple.
What do you think? He won't come for Passover, will he?
Meanwhile, the leading priests and Pharisees had publicly ordered that anyone seeing me must report it immediately so they could arrest me. Lazarus's resurrection showed my power over death and pointed to the eternal life I offer. Remember, I am the resurrection and the life. Through faith in me, even death holds no fear. Trust in my words and find hope, renewal, and everlasting life in me.